Top 5 Rare Coins. Welcome back to the world of hidden treasures and everyday collectibles. Today, we're taking a closer look at some fascinating US 5-cent coins, also known as nickels, from different years and conditions. From a 1989 nickel in fine condition to a well-circulated 1992 and 1988 piece, each coin carries its own story. We'll also explore a 1977 nickel with a rusty appearance and travel further back in time to a 1934 nickel in poor condition, proving that age and wear can still hold surprising value. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, these coins might just change the way you look at your pocket change. Let's start. The 1989 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, may seem like an ordinary piece of pocket change at first glance, but collectors across the United States have started paying closer attention to coins from this era, especially those preserved in fine condition. In today's market, even a circulated coin from 1989 can carry surprising interest when it holds strong detail and minimal wear. For coin enthusiasts and beginners alike, this nickel offers a fascinating blend of history, design, and growing collector appeal that makes it worth a second look. This coin is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. By 1989, the design had already become a recognizable symbol of American coinage, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front. The late 1980s marked a period of stability in U.S. minting, with millions of nickels produced for everyday use. However, coins that have survived in fine condition, with clear details in Jefferson's hair and sharp lettering, stand out today as desirable collectibles. On the obverse side, or heads, the coin presents a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, along with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1989. The reverse side, or tails, displays Jefferson's historic home, Monticello, a powerful symbol of early American architecture and heritage. The words "E Pluribus Unum," United States of America, and 5 cents surround the image, creating a balanced and meaningful design that reflects the nation's identity. Culturally and historically, the 1989 nickel connects collectors to a time when physical currency played a central role in daily transactions. It represents not only economic exchange but also the enduring legacy of Thomas Jefferson and his contributions to American democracy. Holding this coin is like holding a small piece of history, linking the present to the foundational ideals of the United States. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1989 nickel weighs exactly 5.0 grams and is composed of a copper-nickel blend, giving it durability and a distinctive silvery appearance. Its diameter measures 21.21 millimeters, and it features a smooth edge. These consistent specifications make it easy to identify, while its condition determines its true collectible value. When discussing key facts, it's important to note that 1989 nickels were minted in large quantities at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. While this means the coin is not extremely rare, pieces in fine condition, with minimal scratches, strong luster, and well-preserved details, are becoming increasingly harder to find. This gradual scarcity in higher grades is what drives collector interest and market demand. Rarity and condition go hand in hand for this coin. A heavily worn 1989 nickel may only be worth its face value, but a fine condition example can command noticeably higher prices among collectors. Coins that show sharp details, especially in Jefferson's hair and the Monticello structure, are particularly sought after. As more collectors enter the hobby, the demand for well-preserved coins from the late 20th century continues to rise. In today's market, the value of a 1989 5-cent coin in fine condition can range from around $1 to $5 in US dollars depending on its exact grade and mint mark. However, in the collector's market, especially in promotional or speculative listings, these coins are sometimes presented with exciting price tags reaching £120 to £350, which is approximately 120 to 350 British pounds. While these higher figures are not always realistic, they reflect the growing enthusiasm and perceived potential surrounding collectible nickels from this era. For collectors looking to build or expand their collection, it's wise to carefully examine the coin's surface, check for mint marks, and store it properly to maintain its condition. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can reduce its value significantly. Instead, focus on preserving its natural state and consider having it graded by a professional service if it appears to be in exceptional condition. In the end, the 1989 nickel proves that even the most common coins can hold hidden value and meaning. With its classic design, historical significance, and increasing collector interest, this 5-cent piece continues to gain attention in the numismatic world. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, keeping an eye on coins like this could lead to surprising discoveries and rewarding opportunities in the future. Number 2. The 1992 United States nickel in circulating condition, a coin that might just be hiding surprising value in plain sight. Minted by the United States Mint, this coin is part of a long-running series that continues to capture the interest of collectors across the country. While millions were produced, certain examples from 1992 are gaining attention in today's market, especially as collectors hunt for high-demand pieces with unique characteristics. The 1992 nickel belongs to the iconic Jefferson nickel series, first introduced in 1938, and it proudly features the image of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers. By the early 1990s, the design had become a familiar symbol in American currency, but that doesn't make it any less meaningful. These coins were struck during a time when the U.S. economy was shifting, and everyday currency like this nickel played a crucial role in daily transactions. Coins from this era, especially those still in circulating condition, tell a story of real use and history, making them more appealing to collectors who value authenticity. On the front, or obverse side, you'll see the detailed portrait of Jefferson facing left, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1992. The craftsmanship reflects decades of refinement in minting techniques, giving even circulated coins a strong visual appeal. On the reverse side, the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's historic home. The structure is depicted with clean lines and symmetry, symbolizing both architectural beauty and historical importance. Even in circulated condition, many of these details remain visible, adding to the coin's charm. Culturally, the 1992 nickel represents continuity in American coinage and honors a legacy that stretches back centuries. Jefferson's influence on democracy and education makes his presence on the coin deeply symbolic. For collectors, this isn't just about metal, it's about preserving a piece of American identity. Coins like this connect generations and reflect the values of the nation at the time they were minted. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1992 nickel weighs exactly 5.0 grams and is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It has a smooth edge and a diameter of 21.21 millimeters. These standard specifications have remained consistent for decades, ensuring durability and recognizability. Even in circulated condition, the coin maintains its structural integrity, which is one reason it continues to be collected and traded. Now here's where things get interesting. While most 1992 nickels in circulated condition are still worth close to their face value of 5 cents, certain pieces can command much higher prices depending on factors like mint mark, condition, and rare errors. In today's market, a typical circulated 1992 nickel might sell for around 10 cents to 50 cents, but collectors have reported rare examples selling for as high as $50 to $150 in exceptional cases. Converting that into British currency, that's roughly £40 to £120, with standout pieces even being talked about in the range of £200 to £300, which is approximately £200 to £300 in number form. These higher values often come from coins with unique minting errors or those preserved in unusually good condition despite circulation. Rarity plays a big role here. While the 1992 nickel was minted in large numbers in both Philadelphia and Denver, error coins, such as those with double strikes, off-center designs, or unusual surface marks, are much harder to find. These rare variations are what drive demand in the collector's market. Even a small imperfection can turn an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after piece. For collectors, the key is to pay close attention to detail. Always examine your coins under good lighting and consider using a magnifying glass to spot any unusual features. Keeping coins safe in protective holders can also help maintain their condition and increase their value over time. It's also wise to stay updated with market trends, as coin values can change depending on demand and new discoveries. In the end, the 1992 5-cent coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but it carries hidden potential and historical depth that make it worth a second look. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this coin offers an exciting opportunity to explore the world of numismatics. So next time you come across a nickel in your change, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small treasure with a story to tell and a value that goes far beyond 5 cents. Number 3. The 1988 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, and why collectors are paying more attention to it than ever before. Even in circulating condition, this small coin carries history, character, and a growing interest in the coin collecting world. The 1988 nickel belongs to the long-running Jefferson series, first introduced in 1938. It features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers, whose legacy is deeply connected to the nation's identity. By 1988, the coin was produced in large numbers at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making it a common piece in everyday transactions. However, over time, even common coins like this begin to gain attention as older examples become harder to find in decent shape. On the front side, or obverse, the coin displays a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, along with the inscriptions Liberty and the year 1988. The design reflects a sense of dignity and simplicity. On the reverse side, you'll find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, carefully detailed with the inscriptions E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. The structure symbolizes knowledge, architecture, and the early American spirit, making the coin not just currency, but a miniature piece of art. Culturally and historically, this coin represents a period of stability in late 20th century America. It's not tied to a specific historical event, but rather reflects everyday life during the late 1980s. Coins like this were part of daily commerce, passing through countless hands, which adds to their charm today. For collectors, these coins hold nostalgic value, especially for those who grew up during that era. The 1988 nickel has a standard weight of 5.0 grams and is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Its durability allowed it to remain in circulation for decades, which is why many examples still exist today. Despite this, coins in better circulating condition, those with clearer details and less wear, are becoming more desirable among collectors. When it comes to rarity, the 1988 nickel is not considered extremely rare, but condition plays a huge role in its value. Circulating coins typically show signs of wear, such as faded details or small scratches, yet even these can attract interest. In today's market, a standard 1988 nickel in circulated condition might be worth around 10 cents to 50 cents. However, certain coins with sharper details or minor mint errors can reach higher values, sometimes climbing to $1 or more. Now here's where things get exciting for collectors and viewers alike. Some listings and collector markets have shown these coins being talked about in much higher ranges, especially when promoted as rare finds. In some cases, people claim values reaching £100, £250, or even £500, which in numbers would be 100, 250, or 500 British pounds. While these high-end values are often exaggerated or based on exceptional conditions or errors, they still create a buzz and increase demand among new collectors hoping to find a hidden treasure. For those interested in collecting, it's always a good idea to carefully inspect your coins. Look for details like mint marks, unusual errors, or coins that have been well preserved despite circulation. Storing coins properly and avoiding unnecessary handling can also help maintain their value over time. Even common coins can become valuable if they are part of a high-quality collection or have unique features. In the end, the 1988 5-cent coin reminds us that value isn't always about rarity alone, but also about history, condition, and collector interest. While most of these nickels may only be worth a few cents above face value, the possibility of finding a more valuable piece keeps the excitement alive. So next time you come across a nickel, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small piece of history with a story worth telling. Number 4. The 1977 5-cent coin, widely known as the Jefferson nickel, might look like an ordinary piece of pocket change at first glance. But collectors across the United States are paying closer attention to coins like this, especially when they appear in unusual or aged conditions like rusting or environmental damage. In today's coin market, even a worn or rusty 1977 nickel can spark curiosity and demand, because every coin carries a story, and sometimes that story translates into surprising value. If you've ever wondered whether that old nickel sitting in your drawer could be worth more than 5 cents, you're not alone. The 1977 nickel comes from an era when U.S. coins were already using a copper-nickel-clad composition, introduced decades earlier to replace silver in lower denominations. This coin features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front, a design that has been a staple of the nickel since 1938. By 1977, millions of these coins were minted in facilities like United States Mint locations in Philadelphia and Denver, making them quite common in circulation at the time. However, what turns an ordinary coin into something collectible is not just its age, but its condition, rarity in specific forms, and sometimes even unusual damage like rust-like corrosion, which actually results from environmental exposure rather than true rust since the coin contains no iron. Looking at the coin itself, the obverse, or heads, side, presents Jefferson's left-facing profile with the inscriptions Liberty and the year 1977 clearly stamped. The reverse, or tails, side, showcases Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, labeled with E Pluribus Unum and United States of America. This design is both simple and deeply symbolic, reflecting American heritage and presidential legacy. Over time, even in worn or rusty-looking condition, these details can still be partially visible, and collectors often evaluate how much of the original design remains intact when determining value. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1977 nickel weighs approximately 5.0 grams and has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters. It is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives it durability but also makes it susceptible to surface damage when exposed to harsh conditions like moisture, soil, or chemicals. That rusty appearance many people notice is actually corrosion or discoloration, which can reduce the coin's value in traditional grading terms but sometimes increases its appeal for novelty collectors. Now, here's where things get interesting. In average circulated and even rusty condition, a 1977 nickel typically holds a modest market value of around 5 cents to 20 cents in US dollars. However, in today's collector-driven market, certain sellers and online listings have pushed attention toward these coins, sometimes advertising them at exaggerated prices. You might see claims of these coins being worth hundreds of dollars, with listings suggesting values like 120 pounds, 250 pounds, or even 500 pounds, that's approximately $150, $310, or $620. While these figures create excitement and attract viewers, they are often unrealistic unless the coin has a rare mint error, exceptional historical significance, or is in pristine, uncirculated condition, which a rusty coin clearly is not. Even so, demand remains surprisingly strong among beginner collectors and hobbyists who enjoy hunting for hidden treasures in everyday currency. The idea that a simple coin from 1977 could potentially hold more value than expected keeps the market alive and engaging. For collectors, the key is understanding the difference between hype and real numismatic value, while still appreciating the uniqueness of each coin. If you're thinking about collecting coins like this, it's always a smart move to examine mint marks, check for unusual errors, and store your coins properly to prevent further damage. Even a rusty coin can be part of a meaningful collection, especially if it represents a specific era or personal find. Avoid cleaning the coin aggressively, as that can reduce its value even more, and consider using protective holders to preserve what remains of its condition. In the end, the 1977 Jefferson nickel in rusty condition may not make you instantly wealthy, but it carries historical charm, collector interest, and a small but real market value. Whether it's worth a few cents or catches the eye of someone willing to pay more, it reminds us that even the simplest coins can hold stories, curiosity, and potential.